failed peace talks to end the war in Iran.
And I told my people, I want everything. I don't want 90%, I want everything.
U.S. President Donald Trump responding by sending the U.S. Navy to block the Strait of Hormuz. The province says some big changes are coming to Ontario school boards.
It's not just my son, but all the children that matter.
Ontario's education minister is set to make a major announcement on how they're directed and controlled. The Ottawa Senators heading back to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
When we're in the playoffs, it's a fever for sure.
The Sens have punched their ticket to the postseason in back-to-back years. All-inclusive, cruise, or an outbound adventure.
People are thinking of going to China more than they ever have before.
The Chaplin Vacation Show explores the vacation destinations and travel trends crossing every corner of the world. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on CTV2 this weekend. We begin with the latest on inconclusive peace talks between the United States and Iran. U.S. President Donald Trump says the U.S. Navy will begin blocking ships that try to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz after peace talks in Pakistan failed to end in a deal. Let's bring in CTV's Austin Lee for the latest on the face-to-face negotiations. Austin.
Well, Kimberley, late last night, U.S. Vice-President JD Vance said after 21 hours of negotiating in Pakistan, the U.S. and Iranian delegations could not come to an agreement to end the war, which is now entering its 7th week.
We go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could. And they have chosen not to accept our terms.
Vance added the U.S. needs a firmer commitment that Iran will not develop a nuclear weapon in order to reach an agreement. The VP confirmed a number of issues were discussed without going into much detail, and that the U.S. delegation is now headed back. In a social media post, U.S. President Donald Trump having some harsh words for Iran while the peace talks were underway. Trump said while the meeting went well and most points were agreed to, the only point that really matters, that Iran no longer possesses a nuclear threat, was not agreed to. He referred to the Iranian blockade of the Strait as world extortion, saying world leaders will never be extorted. The president then elaborated on his comments during a phone call with Fox News this morning.
We're very disappointed with NATO. We're very, very disappointed that they didn't come. Now they want to come and they want to help with the Strait, and it won't take long to clean it out. So we're going to clean out the Strait, and they'll be able to use the Strait in not too long a distance.
A small number of commercial vessels were shown traveling in both directions through the waterway. This traffic, however, represents only a fraction of the roughly 150 vessels that once moved through the Strait daily, a choke point representing around 20% of global energy supplies. Now, the Iranian negotiation team left Pakistan today. Iran's parliamentary speaker, who led his country's delegation along with his foreign minister, blamed the U.S. for not winning Tehran's trust. Mohammad Ghalibaf saying in social media post, after the experiences of the 2 previous wars, Iran has, quote, no trust in the opposing side. While he believes the Iranian delegation raised forward-looking initiatives, the U.S. failed to gain the trust of the Iranian delegation in negotiations. Now, still, some political analysts say there is still some hope for a peace deal as the 2 countries remain in this fragile 14-day ceasefire agreement. Kimberley.
CTV's Austin Lee reporting live for us tonight. And with those peace talks collapsing, the expectation is for Europe's jet fuel imports to take another hit, putting Canadians planning summer vacations overseas in limbo. CTV's Kamal Karmali reports.
Travelers going through Canada's busiest airport here in Toronto concerned their summer plans will fall apart with jet fuel dwindling for European airlines. Europe's airport industry group saying Thursday if the Strait of Hormuz doesn't open in 3 weeks, there will be systemic jet fuel shortages. Today, U.S. President Donald Trump doused any hope of it opening soon in a social media post saying the U.S. Navy will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz, a corridor key for shipping oil and natural gas, especially for producing European jet fuel. Right now, navigation through the strait is limited to countries that are friendly to Iran, but now the U.S. is threatening to block all access. Travel agents and travel insurers say despite the uncertainty, buy your European travel tickets now because it'll only get more expensive, but make sure to pay extra for trip cancellation and disruption.
It's a big concern, and probably travel insurance, i.e. trip cancellation interruption, plays a larger role than it ever has. Because here's the problem. It's one thing to have higher prices due to fuel shortage and fuel costs. But at the end of the day, the big concern is that they will consolidate flights. They will have delays in flights, and ultimately it could affect things like you meeting up with, for instance, a cruise.
Travel experts say flights might not be completely grounded, but limited, so give yourself plenty of time between connections in your European travels. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the war in Iran. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News channel at any hour. All right, we'll take our first check of the weather. Get a dreary day here in the capital. We do have a special weather statement from Environment Canada for about 20 to 30 millimeters of rain that we'll be dealing with. So we'll take a look at what's happening here right now. We've got 7 degrees here in the capital, rainy, mild conditions that we're looking at. As for tonight's lows, we're heading down, or sticking around 7 degrees, I should say, 6 and 7s along the Seaway as well. And again, those showers sticking with us until the better part of tomorrow afternoon. 3 degrees for Kittigan-Zibi, 4 for both Bancroft and Pembroke. We've got 4 degrees in Gatineau, Petawawa as well. Same thing for the Montreal area. 7 degrees for Kemptville, 3 toward Maniwaki. And as for tomorrow's highs, we're looking at 17 degrees here for Ottawa. Same thing right along the Seaway. Again, a warmer day, but we will have a lot of rain in the forecast as well. 17 for Gatineau as well. We're looking at 14 degrees for Maniwaki, 17 degrees for Kemptville as well. A man was taken to hospital in critical condition following a stabbing in the Byward Market last night. Ottawa paramedics say he suffered the injury in the area of George and William Streets around 11 p.m. Paramedics say a 30-year-old man was treated for those stab wounds to the chest and was treated on scene and then transported to hospital in critical condition. Now, Ottawa police say that the injuries were non-life-threatening and that the investigation is ongoing. Ontario Provincial Police have closed a park in Perth after a person was found with serious injuries. Police say the last dual park area is closed and they're asking people to avoid the area. Officers responded to a call just before 3:15 this afternoon, but at this time it's not clear how the person was involved is injured. Now, investigation is underway, and police say that is believed to be an isolated incident, adding that there is no threat to public safety. The Ontario government is set to announce new legislation Monday outlining changes to school boards. This comes less than a year after the province suspended the role of trustees at a number of boards across the province, including the Ottawa-Carleton Catholic School Board. CTV's Kimberley Johnson joins us now in the studio after speaking with parents today. How did that go, Kimberley?
Kimberley, the Ontario government says that the legislation on Monday will help provide certainty for parents. And at least one parent we spoke to today says she hopes there are plans in place to provide more supports to students with special needs, not just for her son, but for future students like him.
As the province readies to announce its plans for school board reform, Kathy Verrett will be watching closely.
This is important to me because it's not just my son, but all the children that matter.
Ontario's education minister is set to announce significant legislation on school board governance on Monday. Verrett hopes plans include more educational assistance, smaller class sizes, and programming for students with special needs, like the ones her son benefits from.
We need an expansion on these classrooms and not an elimination of them. And we all know early intervention is the most important thing for a child. So the earlier you start them in these programs, the better success rate they have.
The announcement is expected to come with details on the future role of trustees in the province. Last June, the province took over the Ottawa-Carleton District School Board and suspended the role of trustees, replacing them with a provincially appointed supervisor, citing financial mismanagement. The province now controls 8 Ontario school boards, and the minister has hinted the new legislation is about returning responsibility and leadership in schools to the ministry.
Frankly, all of the supervised boards, they're doing what they need to do to put the board back on track, and we're seeing results of that.
I believe it's really important that trustees continue to be an elected position.
There has been no official word about whether trustees will be on the ballot in the next municipal election, but one trustee says she will be hoping it is.
It's really important that communities are able to find someone who's locally accountable to fix issues in their child's classroom, to fix issues as they come up, to make sure that the policies that they create are serving the local needs.
Verrett says trustees act as a vital bridge and hopes to see it return.
Now that the trustees are suspended, a lot of our parents have just realized how vitally important trustees are.
Late last week, the education minister said that the legislation on Monday is the next step in ensuring the education system is focused on students, parents, and supporting teachers and delivering quality education. Kimberley.
CTV's Kimberley Johnson reporting there for us. Thank you very much. You can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on the province's announcement for new legislation that is set for tomorrow. Quebec has a new premier, naming Christine Frechette as the new leader of the Coalition Avenir Québec party.
Les Québécois ne veulent pas reculer.
The CAQ has been struggling on the polls ahead of an election that's coming up in the province this fall. The former economy and immigration minister replaces the party's founder and Quebec's outgoing premier, François Legault. Well, this past week saw the shocking floor crossing of longtime Conservative MP Marilyn Gladu, who decided to join the governing Liberals. During an interview on CTV Question Period, Government House Leader Steve McKinnon wouldn't say whether there's a red line on who the Liberals will or won't bring into their caucus.
We're going to continue. We're going to reach our hands across the aisle to continue to seek support from all corners of the House of Commons for our policies. That will not change, but we will keep a light on and a door open for all of those who want to support Liberal Party principles, which are immutable, and the Prime Minister, his policies, and our platform.
On Wednesday, Gladu became the 5th MP and 4th Conservative to cross the floor and join the Liberals in as many months. Her decision has raised eyebrows because of her long-standing position on vaccines, the COVID-19 pandemic, abortion, and LGBTQ issues. And the federal Liberals could have a majority government tomorrow after 3 key by-election races come to an end. The Liberals currently sit at 171 seats in the House of Commons, just 1 seat shy of a technical majority. The party is widely expected to win the 2 Toronto ridings held by former cabinet ministers, leaving all eyes on Terrebonne, Quebec. The Liberals won that riding by 1 vote in the last election. And CTV News will have full coverage of Monday night's by-elections beginning at 7 p.m. on CTV News Channel. It will also be streaming on ctvnews.ca and on Crave. The Ottawa Senators are officially heading back to the playoffs for the 2nd season in a row. And excitement is building across the city as fans are already gearing up and hoping for what they hope will be a long run in the Stanley Cup championships. CTV's Josh Morano joins us now with more as Sens fans appreciation wrapped up this week. Josh.
Yeah, Kimberly, and it's a familiar feeling, but one fans haven't had in a while. Back-to-back playoff appearances. The team is currently one of the hottest heading into the postseason, and now that momentum is starting to show, both at the rink and around the city.
X marks a spot. A playoff spot clinched for the Ottawa Senators.
Super excited to watch another year of playoff hockey.
Chris Roberts, along with dozens of fans during fan appreciation on the ice at the Canadian Tire Centre, where playoff hockey will soon be played.
Since the Olympic break there, we've been crushing it, so I think in the playoffs we're going to do the same.
My kids are looking forward to hopefully catching a playoff game coming up soon, so we're looking forward to that. And fingers crossed, round 2. Build upon last year.
Go, Sens, go!
The Sens enter the playoffs as one of the hottest teams, winning 15 games since the Olympic break in February, overcoming a 10-point deficit in the standings, a sign for many that this team is ready for a deep run.
Ottawa's a great town. When we're in the playoffs, it's a fever for sure. I got to see it back in 2017. I'm excited to see it again.
And that optimism is spreading beyond the rink.
We're very excited. Most of our customers are very excited. We have a good hockey following at the pump, and I'm sure we'll have a good turnout.
Bars downtown already preparing for another boost to business and are expecting some rowdy nights.
Whether the city announces Sens Mile or not, it's going to happen anyway, right? So we're just looking forward to everybody coming down to the street. It's going to be fun.
We want to pack it in. I know last year we had a lot of energy, sold out venue for these games, and we're excited to do it again. Let's go, Sens.
Back at the rink, Roberts says he'll be checking for tickets to cheer on the Senators on their quest for the Stanley Cup.
Probably get a game or two in there for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't have to wait much longer. The Stanley Cup playoffs are slated to begin on April the 18th, with tickets expected to go on sale sometime this week. The Sens are locked into a wild card position and don't know exactly who their opponent will be just yet, but fans say that doesn't matter and they're ready for whichever team comes to town. Kimberley.
CTV's Josh Moran reporting live for us tonight. Thank you so much, Josh. And CTV Ottawa has extended coverage of the Ottawa Senators' return to the Stanley Cup playoffs for back-to-back seasons. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. And playoff hockey fever is alive and well here in the capital, not just for the Sens, but the 67s.
Bows. Spencer Bows ahead. 2-on-1 now for Ottawa. Bows receives it across. Harebic gets across, and it's in.
The Barber Poles taking on the Barrie Colts in Game 2 of their second-round playoff matchup last night. Spencer Bows getting on the board first for the Barber Poles, but it wasn't enough. Barrie wins this one 5-3, and they take a 2-0 lead in the series. Game 3 is set for Tuesday night here in Ottawa.
Also had one year that I did 1,000,000 kilometers flying.
Well, after the break, we take you to the Ottawa Travel and Vacation Show for a closer look at some of this year's hottest destinations. And a live look now through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We're sitting at 4 degrees and rainy here in the capital. Well, motorists may need to brace for long delays on the 417 through downtown this summer. Lane closures go into effect tomorrow. Traffic control measures set up along the Queensway between Island Park Drive and Kent Street for the final leg of construction of the Rapid Bridge Replacement Project. Now, starting on Monday, the right lane along the eastbound 417 will be closed from Carling Avenue to Rochester Avenue and the off-ramp there as well. There will also be temporary lane closures and ramp closures in the area during construction. Work planned for the summer includes replacing the noise barrier wall along the highway and improvements to the surrounding streets. And construction is expected to last until late summer. The Ottawa Travel and Vacation Show returned to the capital this weekend, sparking curiosity on new travel destinations as some Canadian vacationers are still avoiding travel to the U.S. CTV's Camille Wilson checked out the show this afternoon and is back with a recap from the Rogers Centre, Ottawa. Camille, how'd it go?
Kimberley, travel is the key to many people's heart, whether it's by plane, train, or cruise line. And it definitely showed at the Travel and Vacation Show this weekend with the thousands of people that are looking for their next adventure and find what are the hot travel destinations are this year. Robert Vave spent years flying other people to their vacation destinations.
I was a pilot, just private pilot, but have had opportunities to fly in a number of different countries.
And after visiting 128 countries, he's at Ottawa's Travel and Vacation Show, planning a trip for himself.
Always looking for new ideas, things that have changed. A lot of countries have gone through a lot of turmoil and a lot of improvements. So it's interesting to see the changes that have happened over the last 10, 20, 30 years.
More than 190 travel exhibitors packed the Rogers Centre, Ottawa, representing hundreds of countries from the Caribbean to Africa and Europe to Asia, with many travel and adventure vacation destinations.
I think one of the hot places will be Egypt. Asia, people are thinking of going to China more than they ever have before. Vietnam, and also India.
The show giving you the world under one roof and bringing you a taste of cultural experiences before stepping into the country.
People are going more and more to the Caribbean rather than going south to the United States.
The wake of tariffs and trade tension with the U.S., the event seeing a decrease in American booths.
We had 20 U.S. booths booked here for this year, and they all pulled out with the exception of one.
It is paramount that we be here talking to Canadians, telling them that we're here. We know some of them have chosen to postpone their plans to visit the U.S. for now, and that is fine, but it's still important for us to be here and tell them that we value them, we love them, and we want them to come and visit us.
But for Viv, he's got his sights set on a trip across Europe.
We're planning a trip to Transylvania this fall, the Black Sea, starting in Bucharest and then heading to Budapest and then all the way to Amsterdam with Scenic on a couple of river cruises.
From mountain destinations, wineries, historical sites, beaches, safaris, you name it. All at the show, and people I spoke with today are just trying to catch up on travel for those not going to the States, using this time to explore different parts of the globe. Kimberly.
Looks like you had some fun there, Camille, dressing up and everything.
Definitely did.
CTV's Camille Wilson reporting live for us. Thank you very much, Camille. All right, we'll take another check at what's happening weather-wise around the capital. Extended look at the forecast. Now, if anyone was out and about today, it started out overcast, turning to rain later on in the afternoon. But look at this, didn't stop people from getting out to enjoy some fresh air. But the weather, we'll go out to warm up, but the rain is going to be sticking with us for a little while. Environment Canada has issued a special weather statement today for the Ottawa area, warning of up to 20 to 30 millimeters of rain. Now, the rainfall began this afternoon, expected to continue on into Monday afternoon, and another bout of heavy rain is coming after the Monday one clears out. That will be coming for us on Tuesday. According to the Rideau Valley Conservation Authority, the Rideau River is currently on a flood watch also in effect along the Ottawa River from Pembroke to Arnprior. So we'll take a look at the weather conditions that were happening right around now. You can see that weather system sticking with us, and it'll be with us for the better part of Monday as well. Across the country, let's see what's happening elsewhere. We've got sunny conditions, 6 degrees in Charlottetown. Sunny as well in Halifax. They've got 8 degrees right now. Overcast skies toward the Fredericton area. They're sitting at 10 degrees. 4 degrees here in Ottawa, 6 in Toronto. Rainy conditions that we're looking at. 25 degrees, really warm in the Windsor area. They've got to deal with, again, some cloudy skies. Towards Sudbury, quite the swing. We've got 1 degree there. Over toward Winnipeg, they're sitting at 7 degrees with some overcast skies. In the prairies, we've got Regina at 6 degrees. Saskatoon over toward 5 degrees. 3 degrees in Edmonton, 1 in Calgary, 12 degrees with some overcast skies toward the Vancouver area. It looks pretty glim across the country today. Toward the Ottawa area, this is our overnight low. We're looking at 7 degrees with rain continuing on into Monday. Those showers will continue, but 17 degrees will be the high for your Monday. Toward the valley, we've got 4 degrees for your overnight low with rain and showers continuing on into the afternoon. 15 degrees will be the high there. And then along the Seaway, we've got 7 degrees for the overnight low, and then 17 degrees. We'll be looking at showers for tomorrow as well. Here's how the week is shaping up. On Monday, 17 degrees with some showers. Looks like we'll have some periods of rain coming in on Tuesday as well. 16 degrees will be the high. 17 with more showers on Wednesday. It looks like the same conditions will be sticking with us on Thursday and on Friday, but things will be warming up towards that. See, 20 degrees on Friday, definitely warming up. Then to round us out for the weekend, on Saturday, we've got 17 degrees with some cloudy skies in the forehead, and then more rain on Sunday to round out the week. Well, as food prices soar, a British Columbia couple is taking on a daunting challenge that might inspire you. As CTV's Andrew Johnson explains, their grocery budget is $160, not per week, per month.
When you go shopping with Michelle Neidham, most of the aisle is off limits.
We do look at the honey sometimes, and we're like, wow, that's out of the budget. Then we go, oh, wow, these are cool. Not in our budget either.
Until we arrive at the onions.
This is like a gold mine for Vancouverites.
49 cents a pound is an exhilarating find. So are loose bananas for 10 cents less.
These bananas are a lifesaver.
Outside, cheap oranges.
This is super exciting.
But controlling quantity is crucial.
This one looks small, but it's pretty heavy, so we wouldn't go for this one.
Neidham will usually hit 4 stores per week, and she's documenting it all on YouTube.
As a married couple living in the most expensive city in Canada, there are many things we do to reduce our living costs. This is our grocery budget challenge.
$40 per week on groceries for 4 months. The challenge newlyweds Michelle and Thomas are taking on.
We just picked the lowest number that we thought we could make it on.
Each week starts with taking inventory.
And for the fridge, no eggs, chickpea water, have cooked zucchini, some cooked chickpeas, pasta.
Then a forensic examination of flyers.
Ooh, and starting tomorrow, the 3-for-1 lemons.
And an encyclopedic knowledge of what to buy where.
Superstore would be the flour and eggs. Safeway, cheese. Walmart is the best for Adams peanut butter.
They stick mostly local for produce. Meat is out of sight.
We are on week 12, and we've managed to buy meat one time.
They're prioritizing protein and vegetables and baking in large batches. It's gone well, but isn't easy.
If I don't soak the beans on the right night, or I don't feel like cooking them, it's stressful. It's really hard on your mental health to not be able to have convenient foods.
The couple hopes anyone looking to cut back, even in small ways, can use their journey as a bit of inspiration. They've got 1 month left in the challenge and a reward in mind at the end: hamburgers and pizza. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Artemis II crew.
Still ahead, a warm welcome home from hundreds who took part in NASA's lunar mission. We hear from the Artemis II crew after the break.
Get the latest live, local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
The Artemis II crew received a thunderous welcome from hundreds who took part in NASA's lunar comeback and set a record for deep space travel.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Artemis II crew.
The astronauts took to the stage surrounded by Space Center workers and other invited guests. Officials said that the main objective of Artemis II was to prove that a crewed space flight can get to the moon, and adding that teamwork contributed to the mission's success. Now, the goal is to return astronauts to the surface of the moon in 2028. We also heard from Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen, who thanked the bravery of the launch and the crew.
Well, it's been a lot. This isn't helping. But this is the furthest I've been away from Reed in a long time. Thank you. All right, that's good. Thank you. Gratitude for my family. Gratitude for NASA, for its leadership, gratitude for Canadian Space Agency, gratitude pour les Canadiennes et les Canadiens, et j'ai hâte de pouvoir revenir avec Reed, Christina, Victor au Canada.
And on the technical side, the Orion capsule from the Artemis II mission was inspected today. Technicians examined the capsule on its recovery cradle and viewed the blackened heat shield and outer layer marked by re-entry wear. In tonight's big picture, thousands gathered in central Nepal yesterday to welcome the Nepali New Year. Celebrations are a part of the Biska Jatra, a 9-day festival celebrating the country's new year. The celebrations also include religious processions and traditions, including a ceremonial tug of war and the pulling of chariots. All right, now to some other stories you need to know right now. National Tartan Day celebrations took over Parliament Hill this afternoon. With bagpipes and drums front and center to celebrate Scottish heritage, this performance, put on by the Sons of Scotland Pipes and Drums, now this year marked the 18th annual free concert to mark the occasion. It was a big day for egg roll lovers. The half-price egg roll anniversary returned to the Golden Palace here in the capital. And as always, people lined up to take advantage of that. This year, the restaurant is celebrating 66 years here in Ottawa.
Out for Bradley Camden, failed, now driven rebound! Goten Tigney makes it 3 for the Cavs!
Defending league champions Atletico Ottawa taking to the pitch for the second time this CPL season. Now, this is a rematch of last season's final. The team is taking on the Cavalry, who jumped out to an early 2-0 lead, and we just saw expanding it to 3-0 later. But Calgary would hang on. Ottawa went on to spoil the shutout, but wasn't enough. 3-1, your final score. And things are going down to the wire at Augusta National for the 90th Masters. Rory McIlroy is gunning for his second straight Masters title. He is currently in the lead at 13 under par, and that's good for a 2-stroke lead through 16 holes. And former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his girlfriend Katy Perry were spotted taking a weekend excursion to Coachella and enjoying some music by Canada's own Justin Bieber, who headlined the music festival last night. The two have officially been dating since October and were previously spotted at the World Economic Forum.
They go after people at bus stops. They are by your car when you arrive home.
All right, coming up, we revisit the story of what Ottawa residents are saying about the nuisance that's fouling up the nation's capital. Well, in case you missed it this week, wild turkeys are reportedly running amok in Ottawa, and you may notice them more with March and April being breeding season. CTV's Tyler Fleming tells us some in the city say they have no problem procreating, with numbers rising along with their attitudes.
Wild turkeys are taking over Ottawa, or at least for some it feels that way.
There's 2 toms that are strutting their stuff, yeah, it's mating season.
In this neighborhood along Prince of Wales by the Rideau River, resident Jim Hagerman says around half a dozen call this street home.
There are pets around here, really, but some of the neighbors aren't too happy about them.
I haven't really had that much of a problem with them, but I can understand why people are concerned, because they are big birds.
Pushing past 20 pounds and usually shy until they're not.
They've scared a lot of people in the neighborhood.
This rafter of turkeys are known for some foul behavior.
Go! Even delivery guys come, and the delivery guys are afraid to get out of their trucks.
And turkeys don't seem too fazed, well, by anything. Here they're roosting on an Orleans lawn. And why? Why is the turkey crossing the O-train tracks Wednesday morning? Whether it's bravado or bird brain, residents are getting ruffled.
These turkeys take the cake. They go after people at bus stops. They are by your car when you arrive home.
Ottawa Councillor Riley Brockington says it's time for these birds to fly the coop.
We're at the point, though, where I do believe these turkeys need to be relocated. We are not able to coexist successfully because of how aggressive these turkeys are.
But until the city settles on what to do, here's some turkey tips. Don't try to pet or feed them.
No more bird feeders, certainly for the summer.
If you see a turkey, keep your distance. If you're in a car, roll up the window.
You gotta honk your horn and go at them, and then they'll take off.
If you're afraid of them, I think they sense it, and they'll come towards you. But if you just ignore them, everything's fine.
And here's a fun fact you can gobble up. Wild turkeys are the second heaviest bird capable of flight in Canada. First place goes to the trumpeter swan. And yes, we have those in Ottawa too. Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
While fertility rates in Canada continue to fall, new data shows the number of Canadians who want to have children what's going up. That's created what's being called a growing fertility gap. CTV's Kamal Karmali explains.
How was your day?
It was good.
Turning this house into a family home hasn't come easy for this couple. Caitlin Kenny struggling for years to get pregnant.
You kind of go through cycles of hope and disappointment and hope and disappointment, and you try to keep finding the hope again.
But kept hope knowing they wanted children no matter the cost.
There's obviously a financial burden associated with not only kids, but also fertility,
help.
Now, a study recently released by Statistics Canada shows more Canadians want to have biological children. Among all age groups in 3 years, it went up from 41% to now 46%. But the biggest increase seen in teens and young adults. 5 years ago, just over 50% intended to have kids. That's jumped up in the most recent survey to 64%. The reason? A positive future outlook is linked to a higher likelihood of wanting biological children.
They see themselves as sort of stewards of this new reality of, I want to be able to have children that do better in the world, more socially conscious.
And while the want to have children has been going up, the ability to have kids has been decreasing, with Canada's fertility rates dropping to a record low.
The most recent data from 2024 shows Canada's fertility rate is 1.25 children per woman, making Canada an ultra-low fertility country.
Have you thought about when you want to have children?
At this Toronto fertility clinic, more younger Canadians walking in, preparing to have children later when they're more financially secure.
Specifically young women coming in their 20s and early 30s who know they want to have children, they desire to have them, but they're not really right there right now. Hello.
For this family, seeing the fruits of their labor after seemingly endless fertility treatments.
I think I didn't exhale until I held him, but that was the best time in my life.
Hoping every Canadian wanting kids can experience this happiness. Kamal Karomali, CTV News, Toronto.
Luckily, I'm still here because they were quick to action and saved my life.
Up next, pushing back against the province's plan to pull funding for supervised consumption sites. We'll have those details straight ahead.
Pure Country 94. Ottawa's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's big $50K payday.
Advocates argue the province's decision to shutter remaining supervised consumption sites will result in more opioid overdose deaths. CTV's Allison Hurst has more from an emotionally charged rally this weekend in Toronto.
Attendants add names and messages to the memorial wall outside the Moss Park Safe Consumption site, honoring those who have died.
A lot of these people took me in, they had a tent when they don't let me in the worst times.
Dozens are here for a rally demanding the Ford government not pull its funding from provincially funded safe consumption sites, following cuts at 7 others last month.
We have been operating an incredibly important life-saving service for almost a decade, and now for no good reason, only the worst possible reasons is this being taken away from us.
Jessica Lyons has been a nurse at Moss Park since the beginning and helped organize the rally.
It has allowed me to provide the most important life-saving services to people who otherwise cannot access health care. And now that is being taken away, and we will not let it happen without a gigantic fight.
There were roughly a dozen speakers, from those who worked at the sites.
We knew it was possible, but the way it happened was really, really surprising. And one that's going to affect the city, that's overwhelmed.
We are being perceived as enablers of substance users. Yes, yet we are the bridge to their recovery. Yet we are the bridge to many of the various resources that they need.
To those who have had their lives saved by the workers at the sites.
I was going down every other day from overdoses, and luckily, I'm still here because they were quick to action and saved my life.
CTV News reached out to the province for a comment but did not hear back. However, on April 1st, following a different rally, said in a statement, instead of giving people tools to use harmful illegal drugs, our government is helping people break the tragic cycle of drug addiction by making record investments in more mental health and wraparound supports.
Harm reduction! Harm reduction!
The impact already being felt following the closure of other safe consumption sites across the province.
When I asked them where they go for wound care, food, mental health support, help getting housed, or accessing detox and treatment, almost all of them said they come right here.
This is going to kill thousands of people in the first year, I bet.
It does not make sense to me at all to see that this is being shut down.
A letter from the Ministry of Health to one of the sites says its provincial funding for consumption and treatment services will end as of June 13th. Alison Hurst, CTV News.
While NASA's Artemis II mission may be reigniting the public's love for all things space, a local conference on UFOs in Atlantic Canada is giving space to those who want to take a deeper dive into the unexplained. CTV's Avery McRae reports.
Have you ever looked into the night sky and wondered, what was that? It turns out you are not alone.
There are people here that I know have had experiences themselves, and they don't necessarily have a place where they can share their stories and ask questions.
Inspired by famed Fredericton UFOologist Stanton Friedman, the Fredericton UFO Conference takes a deep look into the unexplainable stories and encounters people have had with unidentified flying objects, many of which that are believed to have come from out of this world.
I was talking primarily about two famous incidents from Atlantic Canada, specifically Nova Scotia.
Chris Stiles has published a pair of books about UFO sightings and was a guest speaker at the event. Among his more well-known works is his book on the famed Shag Harbor UFO sighting in October of 1967.
It is the world's only UFO crash scenario. There are many claims that is supported in that interpretation by government documents that are freely available and entirely without controversy as to their origin or their authenticity.
There has been an increased focus on space in recent weeks thanks to the Artemis II mission that included Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen. UFOologist Jim Lauren says that, combined with recent congressional hearings on the topic in the U.S., have more eyes looking up.
The younger crowd is coming in because they're seeing a lot of stuff on TikTok or Instagram. Not that a lot of it is, not that it's all true, but it certainly sparks a curiosity to go deeper.
And while UFOs have long been reported worldwide, official documents on their existence have yet to be publicized.
The big question, of course, is, are we alone? And the possibilities, they're both daunting. One is we are, and the other is we are not.
And like the saucers, cubes, and triangles they allegedly fly, that existence remains a mystery. Avery McRae, CTV News, Fredericton.
Getting the guys out on the ice.
Oh, hey, look at this.
Oh, yes.
Ovechkin and Crosby to take the face-off.
Still ahead, could this be the end of an era? Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin face off in what may be their final meeting on the ice. And a live look now through our Centennial Glass Skycam, still sitting at 4 degrees, still raining here in Ottawa.
Tonight, travel plans up in the air.
They will consolidate flights. They will have delays in flights.
What Donald Trump's new threat to the flow of oil means for Canadian flyers. Later on CTV National News and Watch on Crave.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Sanaya Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Well, here's a recap of the top stories we're following right now.
And I told my people, I want everything. I don't want 90%. I don't want 95%. I told them, I want everything.
U.S. President Donald Trump responding to failed Pakistan negotiations and the future of a peace deal with Iran.
To make sure that the policies that they create are serving the local need.
Big changes are coming to Ontario school boards. Ontario's education minister set to make a major announcement on how they're directed and controlled tomorrow. And the Ottawa Senators are heading back to the Stanley Cup playoffs. After an 8-year drought, they're punched their ticket to the postseason in back-to-back seasons. We'll take a final check of weather right now. Just want to remind you that there's a special weather statement for 20 to 30 millimeters of rain here for the Ottawa area. It's expected to continue on into Monday afternoon, and then another round of rain is expected on Tuesday. We'll be waking up to 12 degrees, and again, rain for your Monday morning. And here's a look at how the week is shaping up. Doesn't look like it's going to be too dry. Doesn't look like we're going to see any much sun as well, but we've got double digits right throughout the week. The high teens, even 20 on Friday, but off and on periods of rain right throughout the week. Well, it's time now to check and see what our news team is working on for tonight's show. Austin joins us at the desk. Austin?
Yeah, thanks, Kim. We're keeping our eye on a somber anniversary today, marking the 4th and final day of the Battle of Vimy Ridge during the First World War. There was a ceremony, as you see here, that was held today to honor Canada's fallen heroes and to remember their sacrifices. So we will share those details. And of course, you can get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca. And join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
I'll be watching that, and also a Masters update as well.
Yeah, that's right. Rory McIlroy, he's done it back to back. That's breaking news. Yeah, we just watched him sink the winning putt, so there you go.
That's why he was late to set in the commercial break. All right, finally for us tonight, it's the 100th face-off and what could be the final meeting of a heated rivalry between two hockey legends.
Yeah, absolutely. 21 seasons of dominating the league, 21 seasons as rivals, and this afternoon may have been the final time Alexander Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby squared off. So it's only fitting that they met each other for the opening draw.
Who's getting these guys out on the ice?
Oh, hey, look at this.
Oh, yes.
Ovechkin and Crosby to take the face-off.
Classic.
Ovi's usually a winger, if you're wondering why that's funny. Alex Ovechkin is in the final year of his contract, and after surpassing Wayne Gretzky as the NHL's all-time leading goal scorer, it's unclear if the 40-year-old will retire at the end of this season. So they took that iconic photo before the game. This is also the Caps' final home game of the year, so a big opportunity for Capitals fans to drink it all in. For what it's worth, Sidney Crosby does still have 1 year left on his deal. The Capitals went on to win 3-0, and Ovechkin had an assist.
I think it is his last season. They're doing the,
we'll see.
Tour. Yeah.
I hope not.
Austin's back for your late show.